Mark, so we've just seen Spurs register their first home league win over Manchester United since 2018. Both goals then in the second half. The first from Pape Matar Sarr, the second an own goal from Lisandro Martinez, and the perfect way for Ange Postecoglou to open up his home league account. I mean, the second half was particularly impressive. Was that scoreline reflective of the contest itself, though, Glenn?
I think United had some really good chances first half, headers particularly, and they looked quite dangerous in and around Spurs' box. I wanted Spurs, from a Spurs point of view, to tighten up a little bit. But second half, Spurs came out from the first minute. They had much more energy, they had creativity, they had runners off the ball. I didn't see United running defensively hard enough, and I certainly didn't see making movement and making runs off the ball. Everyone just wanted the ball to feet for United, but at Spurs were opposite. They had good movement, they put the full-backs inside at times when it was on, and that seemed to work for them as well. But they were very energised in the way they played second half, and they deserved the win.
Only 2 games under Postecoglou. Is there already a clear identity at Tottenham for you, Michael?
Well, I think when we watched them to start with in their first game, we were still unclear. I think we saw certain aspects of them trying to be a more attacking threat, full-backs really joining in and coming inside a lot of the time as well. And we sort of feared for them against a good team, thinking, wow, if they're going to play like that, then they could get undone. Today, they looked a lot more defensively sound. They did concede a few chances. They changed the right-hand side, made 2 changes, even though one of them was the goal scorer from their last game. But I do think that we're going to see an attacking team throughout the season from this new manager. But I was particularly impressed with the goalkeeper today in particular. I thought he looked half shaky in his debut, but today he looked really good. And overall, it's a positive start, and I think one that they can build on, and the fans will be really positive about.
OK, well, let's have a look at the key moments, starting with 1-0 then in that second half. An unlikely goal scorer in many respects, Pape Matar Sarr.
Well, yeah, but this is good midfield play because he's almost setting the ball out wide. But what he doesn't do is he doesn't admire and sit deep. He gets on his bike and he arrives in the penalty area. Now, you see all these United players, they've got to stand still. They're standing still when you defend. He's the only one on the move. So there he is next to the ball. Porro plays it out wide. There's poor play. Shaw had to come across there to stop Kulusevski from driving on. And Nacho was never going to get back, and that's far too easy to get to the byline. But Sarr keeps running, and the ball comes in. Not perfect for him, but it was a difficult technique. He had to really get over the top of the ball.
Control it, right?
Exactly, he had to smother it, really. We smother it. You don't need the pace. There he is. Make sure that he gets it under the crossbar, and it runs straight into his path, but he technically does really well. But it was all about running off the ball, like I spoke about. You saw Spurs players prepared to run hard off the ball, and this time he gets his just rewards.
Yeah, much to the delight of their manager. His first goal for the club in only his 3rd start. I mean, he's still looking to cement a starting position in this Spurs lineup. He got a standing ovation when he went off before the full-time whistle. Why did the fans enjoy his performance? What was there to admire?
Well, I thought the midfield duo, actually, of him and Basuma really dominated that area. But Sarr in particular, I mean, he was all over the place, winning the ball, scoring the goal. We'll have a look at his contribution here, Glenn. And, I mean, he was everywhere, wasn't he? Not just in possession, but out of it as well. We highlight him on each clip. And the way he broke up play was a really impressive aspect as well as his goal.
Yeah, I think he noticed when Basuma was in front of him at times. But this little patch here, look, turns, drives on. I mean, that's like a young Vieira. That's got a little look of a young Vieira about him. And that's what he's capable of. He can run with the ball and cover the ground, actually. But here his defensive play is really good. He goes early, reads its situation, and he's always in a protected side. This particularly, Michael, I thought was first class. Because what he does is he bides his time. Watch this. Until, look, Rashford looks up, his head's gone down. Yeah. Then he's going to play it out of his feet. And this is where Sarr is now at the moment. This is where he goes. He goes early, and he's read the situation, slides in front of the space, takes the ball. Excellent.
Yeah, no, that was great play. And then we move on to his goal, Manish. And we see it from the wide angle, but he was going to take the ball there, but he decided to leave it to his teammate. But look at this now for determination. Everybody's standing still. when it comes to the comparison of him. He's like run past 3 players there. Mason Mount might be disappointed he's not tracked the run in the last phase of it, but he wanted that more than anybody. And as Glenn said, it wasn't an easy finish at all. The ball bouncing, you just got to do everything you can to smother it and keep it down.
And if you look at his touch map after the 80-plus minutes he featured then for Spurs, it was very much an all-round display, Glenn.
Oh, absolutely. It showed a little bit of everything. Astuteness in his defending, his covering the ground with and without the ball. He can pass as well. He's got a pass on him. He gets his head up at the right moments. And I think, young Skip's done nothing wrong, but for me, that's an improvement in the team. Him and Basuma look really good together in there.
I was going to ask you, where is he now in the pecking order?
Oh, I think he's put himself right in there.
Do you?
Yeah, I think he'll play in the next game without a doubt. Not just because he's scored, but because of the unit in there together and the way he's played. You've got an all-round player. We've got an all-round footballer there, a midfield player that can do everything, really. He's now got to improve on that and get better and better and get 9 out of 10 out of every aspect of his game, which will come. He's still a young man, but he's got himself his first Tottenham goal, and I'm sure that'll give him a lot of confidence.
Michael, it was pretty obvious that first goal galvanised Spurs, who seemed to go from strength to strength towards the end of that contest. The second goal, an own goal from Lisandro Martinez. How did this come about?
Yeah, I mean, Tottenham made a couple of substitutions, and one of them came from that side, from Davies crossing it in with his right foot. And really, it's not the most dangerous balls. It's almost a scuff along the box. It should have been cut out at the near post. You can quite clearly see it's going wide, that is. Ben Davies just getting a little flick on it. It's Perisic actually that knocks the ball in. It's going wide until Martinez gets his touch.
I think on the overall scenario, under Conte, you're 1-0 up in the 83rd minute. Would your left-back end up as number 9? As your centre-forward? No.
We saw the centre-half running.
Yeah,
Romero was on the right wing.
It was the right
You
thing
weren't quite
to
sure
do.
what he was
I
doing,
weren't quite sure.
I was
But
screaming.
what I'm saying is, I think the manager has said to them, look, we keep playing. We saw a clip on the training ground. We keep going. And your left-back's gone on as a sub, and you're thinking, well, we're going to hold on to what we've got. No, he's ended up number 9, all right. He scuffs it a little bit, and Spurs get a little bit of good fortune. But he was allowed to arrive in there. If he's thinking, I've only come on to defend and we hold on to this 1-0 lead, it wasn't about that for Spurs. Get the second.
Well, at full time, we saw and we heard these Spurs fans singing the name of their new boss. So let's get his thoughts now, shall we? Here's Ange Postecoglou.
I saw you last week at Brentford and saw the signs there, but today, this is what all Spurs fans have cried out to see. Front foot, positive attacking, football high up the pitch.
Yeah, look, it was good. Fair to say, we looked a bit nervous at the start, which wasn't surprising. We had 2 20-year-olds, a couple of 23-year-olds, a 22-year-old out there. So, I thought we gave the ball away a little bit too much. And to be fair, Man United probably had the better of the chances. But, I like the fact that we hung in there and worked our way into the game. And I thought second half, particularly in certain spells, we kind of showed the team we want to be. I keep saying we still got a long way to go, but I really like the resilience and the belief the guys have and the bravery they have to continue playing that way.
You brought in Pap Sarr today from the start. You brought him on last week at Brentford. What a performance he gave you.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Him and Destiny, 20 years old, and the energy, but also the quality in his football. Outstanding. And that's I guess, from my perspective, when you've got quite a few quality young players, it's great because it allows us then to sort of build with this young group, and I thought the experienced guys today, Sonny, Madison, were outstanding in supporting that as well.
Sort of thing that would get the support behind you, isn't it? When you bring in young kids and they do well.
Yeah, I think it's important. I thought the support was outstanding today. I just that right from the first whistle, I just thought they created a brilliant atmosphere, and if anything, I think they carried us through that first half. Because like I said, we looked a bit nervy early on, and they were outstanding today, the supporters, and great scenes at the end there. Hopefully that creates that energy we're going to need moving forward. Sorry.
When you came here and you met the Spurs players, but also the fans you met, were you aware that they were just waiting for something to happen after so many years?
Yeah, you get a sense of it, and some of it you can't understand, particularly after a disappointing year. And To be honest, it's not unusual for me. Wherever I've gone in, it's usually on the back of a club having a disappointing season. So you understand that. But I think what's really important is that, what you say is important, but then what they see is even more important, because it's easy for me to come in and say, look, we're going to play this kind of football and be aggressive in front foot, and then what they see doesn't match up to that. And I try to sort of portray how we're going to play our football, and I think they've seen evidence of it, and that's what supporters want. They just want to believe that we're going to play this way and go down that road.
4 points out of the opening two, both tricky games, by the way. Are you happy with the 4? Are you disappointed you didn't get 6?
No, look, I think I'm more happy that we're showing bits of our game out there. I said on Friday that just winning 1-0 today and kind of hanging on, would have made us feel good for a minute, but I saw enough today in our game that encourages me to keep going, that the players are kind of understanding how we want to play, and the points tally is a points tally. All we can do is keep improving, and hopefully we're picking up points along the way.
Well done. Nice to see you again.
Thank you, you too.
Yeah, the thoughts there of Ange Postecoglou. Well, that's it from us three. Glenn, Michael, good to see you.